Questions Made Easy with Scott. Now we are going to use our handy dandy question solving template that I created. If you don't have it, get it out, pause the video, get it out right now. Let's use it, all right? So here we go. Step one, align. What's it asking us to do? What's the question asking? We get it from the last line. Let's read it together. Which action should the project manager perform? That's not in the past. That's not necessarily in the future. It's kind of saying, what should we do right now? Good to know. Now, let's go into step two. Here we go. Now, step two is understand. Let's figure out what kind of project we're in, maybe what kind of process or event we're in. What are the keywords? Let's get our head about this. All right, so let's read the question. Go up to the top. All right, a customer's resources have not completed the required training. All right, so it's required training. The project manager has to consider the risk it poses to the timely completion of the project. The customer resource training is a required project deliverable. Which action should the project manager perform? Now, we don't want to run down to the answers. We want to think, all right, what kind of project are we in right now? Well, it's hard to know, but it kind of feels waterfall-y. You have distinct actions that the customer is going to do, all right? And we know that they're not done yet, all right? So that's the kind of thing we're doing now. We know that the actions are required. It's in the actual project. So let's go through there. Let's highlight that. The customer training is a required project deliverable. Required project deliverable. So that is in what we have to be done. It's not new work. It is in the baseline. All right, that's what's got to be done. And it does present a risk. So this is not such a great thing, right? And so at this point, they haven't completed it. All right. And so those are the keywords that jump out to me. What should we do? Is it being asked? That's good. Let's jump over to number 3. Now we want to assert, in our own words, what we think the problem is. Say them in our own words. All right. So take some time, hit the button. What is the issue? If someone just walked and asked you to explain it to them, go for it. Pause. Tell me what the issue is. All right. Here's what I say the issue if somebody walked up onto me. All right, we got this project. It's well underway. Now we have to train. There has to be some training for the customer's resources. People that work for the customer, they've got to go through some training. At this point, they haven't done it. And because they haven't done it, that presents a risk, a bad thing to us for the success of the project. We got to figure out what we got to do to get these people to do what is required to be done as far as the training goes. All right, this is a big deal. We got to get it done right about now. All right, that's how I'd say it in my real worlds. Then the next part in assert is what will we do in real life? So maybe you've had this problem before. Maybe you can put yourself in thoughts. What would you do in real life? Pause the video. Tell me. All right. So let me tell you what I'd do. I'd want to understand what's going on. Why are they not doing the training? Do they not know where to go for it? Do they not know how to do it? Do we not have a resource on hand? What's the issue? Are they too busy? Do they not know they have to do it? Give me some information. Let's talk it out. Let's figure it out. And then let's get them to do it. Because I'm not going to spend more of my resources to do it. I got to get them going on it. It's in the project. It's got to be done. All right, that seems reasonable. All right, so number 4, we are going to evaluate what each answer is independently, one by one. All right, let's go get A. Would we, to deal with this risk in this training issue, would we communicate with the project stakeholders to address the risk? All right, so first thing we ask is this something that we could do? Yeah, this is something that we could do. Secondly, is it something that we would do, and would it solve the problem up above? Take a second, pause it. Tell me if it solves it up above, yes or no, and why. Pause. All right, for my opinion, yeah, I think this would. What did I say when I thought about what I would do? I would get out there and have a conversation. So communicate, I'm going to infer that it means back and forth communicate to say, what's going on? How do we address this issue? How do we work through this? What are we going to do to get this training done? It's super important, guys. All right, so I like A. Let's hang on to that one. Great. Now let's go to B. Would we revise the risk register and discuss it at the next project status meeting? Take a second. Either you like it, you dislike it, and tell me why. Pause, go. All right. So let's talk about the parts of this answer. Revise the risk register. Now, has to be considered a risk. So yeah, going back to fundamentals and going to the risk register, updating it. We have a training risk. We have an issue with them not doing it. That's on there. Updating the risk register. I like that part. I really like that part. And discuss it at the next project status meeting. When is it? Like, what's the timeline? We're going to wait. Is this something that's critical that we want to wait for? Now, while I do think that's a good forum to discuss it, I worry a teensy bit about waiting. All right. Now, we will update it in that meeting, but are we going to wait to start the discussion at that point? Like, it feels weird, right? It feels like we might be like setting a time bomb off. All right. Because this says, like, it is a risk that poses to the timely completion of the project. So, timely completion, and you're telling me that we want to introduce more time into it? Don't love it. So I'm going to say maybe. All right. So we got a maybe on B. Let's go through C. Dedicate additional post-implementation support to mitigate the risk. Well, I guess that would get it done, right? What do you think about this? Like, hit the button. Tell me if you like this or don't like this and why. Hit it. Go for it. It's super important that you do this. All right, so adding additional post-implementation support to help with the risk, mitigate it. That would help, right? Throwing more money and more people at it. Your people, right? Probably know something about it. Probably can handle the training. That's cool. What do you not like about it? Tell me. Well, the thing that I don't like about it is that additional post-implementation support. Now, we've already established that this is a required deliverable, right? We've already established a process to go about do this. There's probably money, labor, time established against it. We're saying we're going to add more in there, and we're just going to just go ahead and just do it. Just throw more money into it, to an existing thing. Can we do that? Should we do that? In the waterfall world, no. Like, we want to go through the change control process if we're going to do this. So on that level, I don't like it. And it hasn't helped us understand what the issue is, hasn't helped us work with the customer, the stakeholders to deal with it. And it hasn't really put forth an effort that goes through the initial plan. So I don't like this answer. While it appears reasonable, and try to talk you into it, I don't like it at all. All right. So I don't like C. Gone C. No good. All right. Gone. Now let's look at D. Modify the project schedule to account for the training delay. Come on, guys. Do we like this or not? Hit the button, say you like it or not, and tell me why. Now, I don't like this at all. Just because we're late with somebody, every time we're late, we're going to do the schedule, push it out. No, we never finish anything, right? We never finish anything. What we got to do, first of all, is we can't modify the schedule, because we have to go through the change control board, which it doesn't say to do in there. It just says, go ahead, willy-nilly change it. No good. And the other thing is, we haven't dealt with the risk. No. All right? No good. Don't care what they say. I'm never going for D. All right? Never. Because of those rules. Didn't follow change control. Didn't understand. Didn't deal with the risk that exists. All right? And it isn't an issue yet, right? We could prevent this. It's just a risk. We haven't hit an iceberg yet, so I don't like it. So, step number 5. Here we go. We get to decide. What do you want to do? A or B? Take the time, pause, make your claim. All right, I'm going to stick with A. All right, I'm going to go with this one. The part I like about it is working through, communicating, building an understanding, working through progressively to, come on guys, let's get this done. What do we got to do to get this done? It's in there. It's required. You know it's important. Might not seem important, but we got to go. Let's do this. It's not anything we need to add budget to, add things. We just need to communicate and get them going. I like A. What I don't like about A a little bit, because it's not perfect, is that we're not updating the risk register. I would have preferred it to say, update the risk register with this risk and communicate right now to work through and try to figure out how we're going to get around this thing. That would have been feeling good, all right? But it's a lot better than B, because it just says, hey, put it on the risk register and then wait till the next meeting. Dude, if this is going to slow us down, I'm not waiting. So I am going for A. Let's see what happens, and let's go. So, yay, we got it right. A is the right answer. We want to deal with things up front, one-to-one, keep it going, work through a solution, identify the risk. And remember, a lot of times on these, it's not going to be a perfect answer, but it's going to be the best answer. All right? So let's go to 6. You know, always when we go through questions, we want to try to squeeze all the goodness out of them. So what can we do here? What can we learn? Well, we can learn about Well, what is this risk register? When do we update it? Why do we update it? Who handles it? When do we establish it? Maybe you're weak in that neighborhood. Or maybe you go down there and you say, well, why wouldn't we do C? Couldn't we just throw labor at it? We don't want to delay the schedule, right? Follow through the change control process. Understand when and how we use that. That's big. And then D, modify the schedule. Same thing. Why can't I just stretch it out? It's going to be late. Like, we got to go through the change control process. So those are things that we can learn from this. Every time you go to a question, you want to try to squeeze as much learning out. A is the right answer, but learning is our real goal. So keep your head up. You're doing great. See you next time.